We're out here today, you know, it's post-spawn, the fish have done their business, and you know, it's the perfect time to be fishing shallow. So we figured this would be a great opportunity. I got Matt out here today in his boat to kind of break down what we do when the fish are up shallow. You know, we got a lot of really slick finesse baits in the lineup, and we kind of just want to go through those with you and explain why and when we'd pick those up.
We just pulled up on a sand point, and this is kind of a very unique sand point. It's got little boulders mixed in, it's got some grass, it's got a lot of different features, drops off to deep water. So yeah, we're earlier in the summer here on this spot. A lot of the fish are going to be pulled up a little bit deeper on this area. It goes from all the way into, you know, 4 feet, tapering out to 14, 15 range. We should be able to get the bottom baits going a little bit, you know, the snack craw, the flat cat, but you can never go wrong with the drop minnow on a drop shot in here. There we go. Got one on the flat cat. I hope it's a big one. So, yeah. So we're out here today. We're just trying to teach, educate, and show how we'll break down fishing for smallmouth bass, shallow, with our finesse baits. Oh, I think it's a nice one. He's got a couple buddies with him too. I mean, shallow in this area and this part of the lake that we're on is, you know, I would consider 6 to 8, maybe 10 feet of water. They got to feed back up. They got to feed back up after the spawn. So we've been cruising out. We started a little bit deeper. We've cruised up shallow. We've been able to use our eyes. We've been able to see these fish, have confidence that they're here. And we basically settled in on that depth range of 6 to 8 feet. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Look at that. What is that? Gosh, that might be a 5-pounder. Yeah, we've been seeing fish on the live scope cruising around, but they haven't been really cooperating, so we cruised up a little deeper, starting to look around, starting to just use our eyes, look for these fish. We got really good conditions for that right now, other than it's not being sunny. There he is. Oh my goodness. We're kind of early summer, post-spawn conditions. These fish are cruising up around these shallows still. And I think we're starting to figure something out. That's a nice fish. We kind of know where they're at. We saw them on the graph. But now we're just trying to stay back and catch some of these bigger ones that might be boat shy. I got this flat cat on, I've got a nice clean bottom that I'm working it across. I'm still keeping my eyes peeled. We're up shallow and your eyes can be far more important than your electronics.
Oh, got him. Switched over to the micro. Snack. Ooh, I think that's a good one. I'd already thrown in there. Got one to bite a regular snack craw, and then they wouldn't touch. It's crazy what a little subtle change in size will do, you know. That's when I find this micro stuff really shines, especially this little micro snack craw, just fishing it as a Ned. You know, it's a really good alternative to a Ned. It's just got the 2 little claws that float, that matte finish. It's just so natural. And you know, it's most of the time, especially clear water smallmouth, it's hard to beat super natural presentations. That's a solid fish. I'll take that one any day of the week. It's amazing. You know, it's funny when people see this micro stuff, they're like, really? Can you actually catch big ones? And I'll tell you, we were pretty reluctant to give up this secret because we're catching big ones like that. I mean, that's a 4.5 pounder, maybe close to 5. So how we approach shallow water fishing is we're thinking about the time of the year we're in right now. So we know that we're post-spawn, the fish have done spawning. So when I'm looking at the map here, I'm kind of starting with where do I think those fish have spawned? Generally, they're spawning along the shorelines, in these back bays here, You know, you'll find a lot of beds in these little areas. We've got a river here. And what those fish will do is once they're done spawning, they're gonna start, you know, going to those transition points as they head out to deep water. So we've got deep water out here. So where I'd probably start is you know, knowing they spawn here, I'll probably start in this area, work this flat here. You know, as it goes out into this drop off, I'd be looking for boulders, sand patches, even grass. And those would be the targets that I'd be, you know, looking for in general. Definitely have my eyes peeled as I'm moving with the trolling motor on high. And I'd probably be throwing the sneaky underspin and the Cindy rig as I power fish through this area, just fan casting, looking for a clue. Today we found that the fish had already made their way to the main point and we were getting our fish in this area. That means that they're staging before they go deep. And once we figured that out, we were able to just kind of stay in this kind of pocket here and pick those fish apart. More fish are going to continue to work their way out that maybe are still doing their thing in the shallows and they're spawning, but we're able to intercept these fish before they head out to this deep water and maybe set up on, you know, deep structure, rock boulders, boulder piles, any of that, you know, big sunken logs, shipwrecks. And you know, if I didn't find fish in this area, you know, I'd probably start working and try to hit up all these little points as I go down. Like this would be a really good spot. You can see an area here where they'd likely spawn in the shallows, but then work out to this little shoal here. I'd work around this shoal, I would be fishing shallow, and I'd also do a pass out deep in that, like, you know, 8 to 10 feet, and maybe even find some fish into like 12, 13, 14 feet of water. So that's generally what we're looking for. Again, think about the process. They're gonna go in shallow, they're gonna spawn, and then they're gonna start making their way out deep. And finding and positioning yourself on those transition points is key, knowing those fish are gonna use the transition before they slip out deep.
I think what we're finding is bottom baits are what these big fish are keying in on, and they're probably, you know, they know where that's where the food is. They're going after the gobies on the bottom, they're going after the crayfish on the bottom. That's kind of the story of the morning so far, so we're gonna keep trying, see if we can get an even bigger bag, couple more big fish on these bottom baits, and I think that's the ticket right now. And there's no reason to just rip right through them. We're gonna slow down and try and get some of those big, smartest fish in the school that are looking and testing that bait, just like that one. Yeah, I mean, these fish, even smallmouth, you'll see how they'll track a bait. They'll track it, keep an eye on it, follow it. They're not gonna hit it right away. They're gonna see if that's a real food or a threat, or see what it is before they take a bite on it. And some of the biggest fish in the school are not reactionary fish. They want to eat something slow, they want to eat something natural. And he's got a bunch of buddies. Dang, that's a good fish. Come on. Look at that. When you know you're around fish, it pays to slow down, pick them apart. I mean, we could have ripped right through, caught a couple fish from this school and taken off and think that's it. But no, we can sit here and we can catch almost every fish in the school if we slow down, use the right presentations, take our time, and finesse them.
So right now I'm fishing the snack craw. You know, knowing that they're up here feeding and they love craws, it's really hard to beat a snack craw. It's so unassuming. It's a perfect little Ned bait. It looks so natural down there, and it's, you know, especially when I get around a lot of fish, having something that's more natural, because they're gonna spend more time. I got one going. They're gonna spend more time to investigate. You see, I kind of had that bait just sitting on the bottom, not even moving. And what that bait was doing there, that snack craw, was it was just, I'd scoot it and then it would lift its claws on like a 45-degree angle. I paired it with the Finesse CX 7/8 medium light. Perfect for like really long bombing these baits out there. And I've got 5-pound test braid to a 6-pound leader. Right now, I'm finding that I'm able to scoot along the bottom. It's mostly sand, but if I get around some rock, I'll switch to like an 8-pound leader, and so it doesn't get frayed by the zebra mussels and stuff. But I mean, these baits are just so unassuming, but they just catch them. I mean, that's such a small little bait. That's, you know, a 2.1 inch bait on a stealth ball head. And it just seems like, you know, when you start fishing these little small finesse baits up shallow, they become really hard to put down. And it's to the point now where, you know, I'd almost prefer to start my day with a small little finesse bait over an overpowering, you know, like a spinner bait or a jerk bait. Those are great baits to locate fish. Sometimes they'll follow them if you don't get a bite, but when it comes to breaking down an area that you know has fish, nothing beats finesse and these little tiny baits. Let's catch another one.
We've had a few on the bottom here, but we've noticed a lot of these fish just on the move, just cruising. Not nosing down, not like nosing down on stuff, just literally on the move. Probably looking for their next meal, looking for a bait fish. So we're gonna switch it up here. I'm gonna try this Cindy rig, but with the swim bait head. Got some. Well, it's got the eyes on the head. This water is absolutely crystal clear. I mean, you can see 20 feet down, and these fish get a really good look at what you throw in front of them. So I don't think it's the end all be all, but I'm gonna do this little tweak and see how it develops here.
Oh, they're just loaded in front of you. You see them?
I see one.
Oh gosh, they're just,
yeah.
they're
Okay.
like right in front of you.
Yeah, we just, oh my goodness, look at that.
They're still
Okay.
there.
we're just moving around this area trying to find the next school, and I think we found them. Oh my goodness, they're all right here. There's a bunch right in front of us. We were just coming up and I was watching the bottom. It was nothing but moss and grass and things laying on the ground. And we literally just hit a sand break. We hit into some clean sand and immediately started seeing some fish. Yeah, just like that one. As soon as we come up on the sand, we were saying that this is going to happen. Like, this is about to happen. We're going to get bit. Sure enough, throwing that Cindy rig. I think maybe we'll if there's a bunch of fish here, I can see them right now. I think we'll probably slow down, start fishing those bottom baits again, get the snack craw, the flat cat out, and hopefully catch a bunch of more of these fish. Come here. There we go. Yep, little adjustments like that. Cindy rig, swim bait, sneaky swim bait head, and a good solid fish.
You notice that they're spitting up gobies like crazy. So that's when we picked up the flat, like I picked up the flat cat. The flat cat can imitate everything. Actually, it was inspired by a baby catfish. We got onto a lake that we fish a lot, win a lot of money on. And we noticed that they really like baby catfish. So that was kind of the inspiration to design this bait, was that's why it's the length it is, it's the profile. You know, it's funny, most people just walk past this bait, and if they knew what it could do, they definitely in the tackle store would not walk past the flat cat, because it's a lot of big ones. And it's actually one of our favorite baits to fish, and for good reason. I'm gonna get this one back. I think we can get another one. Just got it on the stealth ball head. That's the 3/16 ounce. Just trying to get it to fall faster, get it right on top of their heads, and then move it slowly along the bottom. And what I'm doing is I'm just scooting it. You know, picture that bait on the bottom. I'm just scooting it, and I want it to like hop and dart, kind of like a goby. Gobies aren't kind of like swimmers. They're more like hoppers. If you ever watch them, they just hop on the bottom. And that's what this bait is perfect for. When it falls, it glides down. If you lift it, it'll kind of turn and go in different directions. That's because of the flat bottom. Anyway, I'm dying to get back in there. The bite's kind of good. I feel like we've dialed things in here, and I'd say this is about as good of a flat cat bite as you're gonna get. catch one like this. Well, I'd say we accomplished our goal today. The goal was to come out here, and we haven't been out yet this year, and at this time of the year, you know, the spawn's wrapped up, and we kind of knew that shallow would be the deal. So, you know, we covered some water to find out where they were, either using the Cindy rig or sneaky underspin, and didn't take us too long to kind of locate the first school. And you know, and then at that point, once we figured that out, we really had to hunker down and figure out what those fish wanted to eat. We tried some drop shot. We got one on a drop shot. Turned out, like you can see that there, this fish is coughing stuff up now. That they definitely wanted a bait on the bottom. Look at that, there's a goby. Well, I'm gonna pull this out. There's a goby in there. Tell me they're not eating stuff off the bottom. So hopefully this gives you guys the confidence to go out and try some of these micro baits, these small Great Lakes finesse baits that are in that, you know, 3 to 2, even, you know, 1.5 inch range. And you can see you can have some pretty awesome days.